Well, I'll start. I guess we should introduce ourselves.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Hello, everyone. My name is Adrian Dyer.
Hi, I'm Victoria Street.
And today on Soda Pop's podcast, we're going to be discussing Black History Month a little bit because it needs to be discussed and we should be talking about it. And I thought that Victoria Street should be here because she's like a genius, like a lyrical genius. She's got bars, she writes poems, and she's super smart. So I thought that it would be a good idea.
Well, I'm happy to be here.
Thank you, Victoria. The first question I had was, what do you love about Black culture?
That's a great question. I feel like people don't understand that a lot of like Black culture is American culture. Like, for example, fashion trends. Like, a lot of the fashion trends that you see now, we have basically kind of like invented. Like if we talk about Billie Eilish's style, for example, like the baggy jeans, the jerseys, the shirts, the bandanas, like that is all very much stemming from like 90s, 2000s hip hop culture. We can also talk about music. There's been a lot of wins for Black people in music recently with the Grammys, Kendrick winning.
I did not watch the Grammys. Did he win a Grammy?
Huh? Yes.
Let's go.
Yeah, with Kendrick winning, like sweeping, and Doechii.
Can you win? I know Doechii. Can you win multiple Grammys?
Yeah, you can win multiple Grammys. You can, like, there are different categories, and then you win for that. You can win in multiple categories.
I saw Doechii's speech that she gave after she won.
Yeah,
which is why I know she won.
Yeah, that was such a powerful speech. Like speaking to all the Black girlies, that was deep.
That was good, and I like her. The people who hate on her, I don't understand why. People are like, this isn't
music.
music.
There was hate. Well, I think it's definitely a thing of like Black female rap. Like I'm gonna say it, in my personal opinion, I feel like Black female rap is like kind of has been like the center of like rap and hip hop for decades, like especially in like 2010s kind of culture and now like 2020s. I feel like and Doechii was there during that era. A lot of people don't realize that she wrote Persuasive or sang in Persuasive with SZA, and that one song that was trending on TikTok that I can't think of right now. But yeah, she's been in the music industry for a while now, and so I'm just glad that she gets her flowers and that she reflected it back on the people.
You can explain it to white people forever and a day, but they just don't really get it. I've had to explain to some people. I had to explain to one person why I didn't want to go in the middle of the woods in Idaho during the summer, because I was like, do you know about Idaho's stance politically? And they were like, why does it matter? It's not like racist people are out to get you. What do you think they're out to get, if not me?
What they're doing.
But whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I had more to say about that, but I kind of forgot.
Me and Charity, president of the BSU, we went to a Black Student Union conference at WSU, and like the feeling of just seeing like all of these Black people in that space and like getting to hear from Black speakers, and I performed one of my poems, and it was like hearing like the snaps and like people like really understand what I was saying, like every bar, like that to me was like so powerful and like so important to what I do.
You can feel the understanding. Like in a room full of Black people watching a performance, or just in general, there's like something happens.
Literally, like a magical experience.
What would you change about Black culture?
That's a good question. I feel like this is
homophobia, colorism.
I was thinking we're very, very critical of ourselves. Like, I feel like, in a sense, like sometimes we believe the lies that we are told. Like the lies of, you're lazy, like you'll never be good enough. Like we just seep that into our own like conscience. And I mean, it's a part of systemic racism. Like it makes sense, but it's also like, I think we need to stop believing those lies and like really be like, no, I can do this. Like, because the thing is, I feel like white people know that we can, and they're just lying to us and telling us that we can't. And so, yeah, we need to just step out of that lie and really, truly embrace ourselves for who we are.
I think the judgment that we give to each other,
that is so true.
It feels
like
the internalized homophobia of Black men I don't know if I can really speak on that, but I've heard my dad say some outlandish things just because
Y'all
being
are
called
too close to
gay
your
as a
homies.
black man in the 90s was like, oh my God, he's gay and black. That's like too bad, too double negative. It's terrible.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's just you have so much going against you. I don't know how to word it properly, but it's like we're the opposite of a model minority, if that makes any sense. People see other people of color and they're like, oh, they're gonna do great things, they're smart, they're this, they're that.
Yeah.
And we're like, we're stupid, we're sloppy, we're whatever. The only thing that was model about us that they said was that we're athletic. So that's just so we could work.
That's
on the
don't
plantations.
even get me started on like NFL and like the whole like owning people like that pisses me
The
off.
NFL. I want to get you started on that. The NFL.
Okay, guys, I've been watching football because my family's like huge on football since I was little, and I personally I feel like the way that the NFL treats their players, especially their black players, is like not good at all. It's definitely a thing of like slavery and like massa and like the whole thing of like
Is the NFL majority black?
That's a good question.
Because I know
feel
the
like,
NBA is.
Yeah, I feel like the NFL could be. This idea of like there's these white like old men like owning these stadiums and these what are they called, teams, and then they get to decide like all of the things about the players. I don't know, it irritates me. I think it's the same thing for like the NBA and like most other sports things too. But
another thing I was gonna say about colorism is the colorism of light-skinned men towards dark-skinned women. I know it's been talked about, but it needs to be talked about more. The fact that some light-skinned men will be like, I don't want to date a dark-skinned girl. They're dirty. They're loud. Show me a photo of your mother. I can't believe you're saying, look your mother in the eye when you say things like this next time, because that is ridiculous. Where do you think you came from? Who do you think your ancestors are to be saying things like dark-skinned women are annoying? Goodness gracious.
I definitely think in like media there's that whole thing of like desirability, especially around like dark-skinned black women. Like a lot of times they're just not seen as desirable in media, and it makes me so mad. And it's really, really frustrating to see because black women are beautiful, especially dark-skinned black women.
Do you remember the media tried to convince us that Whoopi Goldberg was ugly?
No, because
she is beautiful.
Like
that is insane.
Oh my gosh, that makes me so upset. Like she is gorgeous. And if you think of like Black Panther, like the whole cast, like all of them are so like
attractive people.
Gorgeous, like gorgeous cast. So for real.
Oh, this was a question personally from me because I don't understand it. Can you explain racism?
Oh, okay. So I was gonna talk about this too earlier. I've been reading Caste by Isabel Wilkerson. I read it for AP Lang as well. It's such a good book. Anybody ever who like wants to learn how to be anti-racist, you need to read the book. It just explains how like racism is. I mean, there's so much that she explains. Like she goes into depth, but she explains how racism is systemic, and it's not just like a feeling or like it's not just a feeling or like hatred. It's like deeply rooted in our society, and it's more of like a social hierarchy. So like your race basically, like, and this might sound elementary, but it's like your race just determines your standing in terms of like our social like life, and it also determines that not just our social life but like economic standard, like where you need to be, like your place basically in society, if that makes sense.
I just don't understand the beginnings of I'm white, right? Mm-hmm. I'm white. I see a black person and I go, you suck. How do we when I don't understand when we went from seeing people as people to people as colors. Like why did we do that? I mean, I think it's just a thing of this thing building over time, like to the point where you don't even think about it. I don't know, there's just so many like institutions that are just so
rooted like within the system that it's hard to think of anything else.
I could talk about the military and the prison system for decades. I'm not going to get into that right now.
Oh my gosh.
But I do have a lot to say. Who is a black person that inspires you?
See, I saw this question and I was like, I have so many people. I have so many people that inspire me. And then I also thought this question is like I want to do somebody like current. So I think I'm gonna say like Sha'Carri. Like since we're on the topic like the NFL, I grew up in like a very sports-led household, so I've been watching like the WNBA and the Olympics this past summer. And people like Angel Reese. I love Angel Reese. She is so fire, and like her, first of all, how the media has been treating her versus Caitlin Clark, like, don't even get me started on that. But like, I just love how she is authentically herself. Sha'Carri is another great example. I have her little magazine right here. She is also authentically herself. Like, she runs those meters and she won that medal, and so many people had so much to say about her, and she did it anyway. So I think to me that's inspiring because, excuse me, I definitely have people pleaser tendencies, and I think like a lot of black women like have those tendencies just because of this idea that we have to uplift and serve everybody all the time. And so to see their examples of like helping their community and, you know, being a part of it and working together, but also just standing up for themselves and being like, no, I got this, I can do this.
To get by in society as a black woman, you kind of have to be kind. You have to be bubbly and nice and like serving, really.
Yeah.
People, I have not gotten so many jobs. People will call me rude, people will call me disrespectful for saying something that a white woman would get praised for.
Yeah.
To see me, a black woman, talking deadpan with a straight face and saying that I'm disrespectful, but a white woman could do the same thing, and she's, what is it, like a go-getter, she's a leader.
Yeah, I see that. Oh, we're real sassy or really mean or talking too loud, even though I am quiet. Like things like that. And white women, when they're talking loud, oh, it's like she's
using her voice.
Yes.
Or everything we say is taken as a statement of activism. There's videos on YouTube about this of like, if you're black in a majority white space and you say anything, my favorite color is orange, they'll go, oh my God, can you explain that? Can you tell me about that? That was a powerful statement. Can we reminisce on that? It's just so much.
Yeah.
Just because you're black, everything you've said is like this amazing piece of literature that we all need to study. Not really.
Yeah.
Can we just be people? Not everything I say is like the most profound thing anyone's ever said.
Yeah.
But not everything I say is disrespectful. There's no middle ground, it doesn't feel like.
As an artist, that thing of your every single painting has to have meaning. I try to put intentional meaning in my paintings, but a lot of the time, like, they're just characters I created or like stories that have nothing to do with race, and that is completely okay, and I think needs to be normalized. My work is powerful without the like deep-rooted traumas of racism.
Not everything's about racism.
Yeah.
It really isn't. My black people who inspire me are like basic. I don't think that should be anything to say, but obviously Martin Luther King Jr. is my main man. He was eloquent, he was educated, he was convincing, he was peaceful. He was everything that I think works in activism, but in black activism specifically, because everyone knows Malcolm X. Everyone was hating on Malcolm X. When he was alive, everyone was like, this violent man who's starting this black power movement, they want to take over. That's not what was happening. But because of racism, that's what everyone said was happening, because Malcolm X stood on business and didn't let people, he did what he needed to do.
Yeah.
And Martin Luther King, they both died in the end. Which,
true.
But he's my main man, and the speeches he gives are just that you don't even need to hear him give it. Just reading one of his speeches. I know you all have heard that I Have a Dream. Read it. Like, actually sit down and read it.
Please.
Like, word for word.
Because some of y'all don't be knowing what it even says.
Because it is genuinely something so important and so interesting. And I was gonna say as well, Malcolm X. Look me in my eyes. Read Who Taught You to Hate Yourself by Malcolm X.
Great.
It is such a good speech. It touches on the disrespect towards black women in the white and in the black community. It touches on the internalized hatred and racism that black people face. It is just, read it.
My mom, Shirley Chisholm, I think that's her name. She ran for president.
Really?
Yes, she ran for president in 1960. Is it 1968? I don't remember when she ran for president.
That is a crazy time for a black woman.
I know, but there is a Netflix, I think it's like a biotopic on it. You should watch it. It was very good. When we're going through, I mean, not to get political, but times like these, it's important to reflect on who has come before you.
Yes.
So that way, like, you can be the person who's next, you know what I'm saying? Like, definitely just study on these people because they will, I feel like they inspire us.
They will empower you, especially as a white person. It is kind of a political obligation at this point in history to be educated on black history. If you are ignorant about the struggles that black people have been through in this time, educate yourself. But as a black person, it's empowering. Like, it feels,
no, for real.
I feel it. When I read these speeches of these men and women who have come before me and done great things, it just makes me feel good to, like, my ancestors worked really hard to get me here. Half of my ancestors worked really hard to get me here. And it just feels good to know that we have gained that power.
Yeah.
Power that has been taken from us for hundreds of years, that we've been getting it back. I don't know how to describe it, but
like, it's important to be educated because there might be a certain time when we do not have this freedom to educate ourselves on these topics. And I know that, like, it's important for schools to have these things implemented, but also take it upon yourself to do the work and, like, truly dive into these people, just so that way their stories are not forgotten. And that way you can tell other people.
yes,
And
like we're doing.
Exactly.
How has being black been for you?
Yeah.
Can you describe that experience to me?
Oh God. So it started July 1st, 2007. No. It's been a wild ride. I've definitely been in a couple of different spaces. I talk about this a lot, but I grew up in DC, like the DMV area, so DC, Maryland, Virginia, and in that area, like on the East Coast, there are a lot of black people, and especially within Maryland, like I think one of the richest, like, black counties is in Maryland. I forgot which one it is, but yeah. So, like, I'm very, like, I feel like there I was very invested within, like, black culture. I didn't get that at school, but I got it at, like, church and at home because people were very invested in me, like, knowing who I am and, like, all of the people who came before me. And then moving here, it was a culture shock. It was very, very different. I was a little confused, I can't lie. But it also, like, gave me, I feel like, the room to, like, really express myself and, like, share with other people what I had learned previously. And then also, like, really, really, like, deep dive into it. It could also be, you know, because I'm growing up and I'm in high school now, but I really started to, like, figure out, like, who am I and, like, who has come before me. And then, you know, being, like, a, like, queer, like, black woman, like, finding those people who have done that as well, like, that truly changed the game for me. So yeah.
I have to say, when I was younger, oh my god, being a black middle schooler is like a form of torture. Psychological torture.
Oh, don't even start on that. Oh, I forgot about that.
So I'd have to say it did not start out too good because I was getting dogged on by other black people.
Oh.
They'd be like, your hair is nappy, you're ashy.
Racism
Like,
is actually insane.
why did you just scream in front of a classroom of 30 that I'm ashy? Can you please stop?
No, not the ashy. Oh my
That
gosh.
is so disrespectful, and it's taught me to be stronger for sure. But I don't want to have to be this strong. To be fair, I don't like chicken. The texture gets me.
I'm vegetarian, so every function.
Check your bias.
Every function
Check
is
the
hard for me.
stereotypes.
Like,
Hot take. Watermelon is good. I don't feel like I don't want that to be a stereotype about us, but I shouldn't feel ashamed when someone's like, "Oh, but you like watermelon," and I'm like, "Absolutely do."
I don't.
You don't?
I don't.
Wow.
Literally, people will be saying like, "Oh, like no, watermelon is gross, guys."
Oh my god.
I'm so sorry.
That is
I feel like
that is a hot take. Saying
I
watermelon's
know.
gross?
I'm so sorry. No, because